Alright, so I'm back in my Thinglink account, and now we're going to start actually creating images and adding some annotations to them. So I'm going to come up here to create, and I need to find an image. So let me do that really quick. Alright, so what I did is I went and found a picture of Kauffman Stadium, which is where the Kansas City Royals play, and as you may well know, they're the best team in the world. So we're going to start annotating this image and adding some tags to it. So how do we want to do that? Well, before we get started, you can change the way this looks while you tag it. Fit means it's going to fit into your editing window here. If you hit magnify in, you can actually move around the field by doing, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, by doing a right click and dragging, right? So you can do that. I want to get rid of this thing and delete. Okay. So you can actually, if you right click, you can drag around on here. So that just means you can zoom in and get really close. So I want to like tag this one guy out here in the outfield I can. All right. The first thing you probably want to do is to create a title for whatever it is that you're going to be using this for. I'll say Kauffman Stadium. And you can click anywhere on this picture now to begin adding tags. And so one thing you might want to consider is that you can actually search for content that you want to include. So I'll get back to that in a second, but you will be able to pull things directly from the editor, which is nice. You don't have to go snooping all over the internet. So Thinglink, let's create some Thinglink tags for this picture. So I might come over here to third base and get this tags off of here. And I'm ready to start adding some tags. So I'll click over here on third base, and this editor window pops up over here in the left. And so here's what you can start doing. You can do a link or image address. So I could just type, so that means I could link to something on the internet, or I can just type something here. So I might just label this one third base. And so now when my student hovers over this, they're going to see that it says third base. So if I want to save the change, I'll click save, and now if I hover over it, it'll say third base. If I come in here and change what it says, I can also do that too. So right now this is just text, but I can come in here and I can add other stuff to that. So let me get out of let me delete this one that I have, and let me find, so many people know that George Brett is a great player for the Kansas City Royals. So we can find, let's use this video of the Pine Tar incident, and I can actually tag that YouTube video to third base, and I'll save it. So now I have a great story about the Royals third baseman George Brett and the Pine Tar incident. If you know anything about that, it's quite an interesting story. Look into it. And so it also pops all this text right into here. So I'm going to click save on that. Close out of this. All right, so let's say I want to add, let's say I want to teach about what the pitcher does. So I'm going to look up pitcher in baseball. And here's a SoundCloud video of, not a video, but a SoundCloud audio clip of Satchel Paige, no crying in baseball, Carlos Pena. Here, we'll use this, and I'll move this down here. So here's Carlos Pena, a former Major League Baseball player, talking about Mariano Rivera, a dominant pitcher in Major League Baseball. So that's another thing I'm going to include there. As you get deeper and you start adding more links to your picture, you have options of stuff that you want to actually include. So what's going to happen is this link bar up here becomes a pretty powerful tool. Let me show you some examples. All right, so I went and found a picture of a catcher. So I'm going to come over here to that link, and I'm going to paste the link to the catcher. And Thinglink figures out what that is, and it knows that this is a picture. This is actually Yadier Molina, the Cardinals. And so I found that picture, and then it automatically puts it in there. And then I can come down here and add some text that goes along with that text that the student's also going to see whenever they hover over that pin that I've dropped on the picture. right? And I'll save that. So I have that SoundCloud video here. I have a YouTube video here, or a SoundCloud clip, YouTube video, and then just a picture. And so Thinglink is pretty smart because it can usually figure out what you're trying to post whenever you put a link on here. So like what I've done here is I'll drop one here on first base, and I found a link to ESPN's top 10 first basemen ever. And I post that link in there, and you see that Thinglink knows what I'm trying to get at here. Hey, it's almost time for class to be over. And since Thinglink kind of knows what I'm going for, it pops in a little thumbnail from that article. It gives you a little bit of introduction to that, and it actually has a read more button that will take you to that website to actually finish reading that article. So as another example, let's say I want to come up here and I want to have a link to a Google form. Now, so these can get kind of sketchy and they don't always work really right. So this one says sign in Google accounts. The link is to the Google form. You can see if you look down here at the very bottom of the screen where the link is popping up, it knows what I want, but Thinglink can't get in there because it doesn't think I'm signed in. It's still okay, so I can still do that, and I can just change what this says down here. It says take this quiz on baseball, and I'll save that. And so I could go in and add like a picture and stuff. But anyway, so like you could do links to things like Google Docs or Google Forms. You can clearly do things like YouTube videos, SoundCloud clip. So it's the power of having all these different types of media that you can link to and have a student kind of explore something. So like this is a way for them to explore different parts of baseball, the best pitchers, interesting stories about the players, maybe the history of the game, but you can apply that to anything. And you could also just have your students do it on their own. They could create their own Thinglinks to show you their understanding of a topic, or to show how they are applying a skill to a process, or however you think that you want to use it. All right, so what I've done here is I've just kind of gone in and I added a bunch of different points of interest to explore for students, and I thought it'd be a good idea to show you like the finished example of one of these things. So I'm going to save this, and now I can actually preview what it's going to look like for students. I'll put it in full screen mode. So the idea is that I can't do full screen because I need to upgrade, so we'll just do it this way. So what students are going to do is they'll just kind of go over these things, and it will pop up some stuff. So here they'll come down here and they can learn about Yadier Molina. They can come and watch the Pine Tar incident. They can come over here and learn about the 10 greatest first basemen of all time at this article. If they don't know what a shortstop is, they can click here to get a Wikipedia article telling them about that position. I've done the same thing for outfielder. Put over here, I have a link to baseball's greatest myths, mysteries, and urban legends. So that'll be an interesting connection that students could make. Over here, I put a clip of the Royals winning the World Series, one of the greatest moments in the history of mankind. Sorry, I just had to finish that part. Over here, I have the top 15 longest home runs in MLB history. Students can get on there and read about some long home runs, and what trip to the ballpark could possibly be complete without the singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." Take me out to the ball game. All right, well, I won't subject you to that anymore, but you can see that you can get access to all this media and share that with students, and that becomes a powerful learning tool. So definitely use Thinglink to build background, to support your lessons, to explore content in interesting ways, but also have your students creating their own Thinglink images with those annotations on there to show their understanding and the way that they are exploring different things as well.